he immediately said that was just a bomb. And I remember being like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
But like, you're just so confused. Like,
Yeah.
what just happened, and why can't I hear? And there were sirens going on and crying and just the smell of everything.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't imagine. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Tanner. If you don't know who I am a paraplegic amputee with a few other things going on. And I am here to share some stories with y'all of positivity, resilience, and just making it through the hard stuff in life, because I think we all go through hard things, but certain people's struggles are a little bit bigger than others. And, you know, it's easy to gain perspective when you learn from those people. And so I have Miss Celeste here with us today. As I'm getting chills talking about it already, because I'm excited to hear your story. But Miss Celeste here, I mean, I actually don't know too much about her story, just what a few people have told me. And so I'm excited to learn more about your story today, and how you persevered and why you chose to live, and do more than just sit in a bed and give up, right? And kind of share some stories back and forth, and hopefully give some encouragement out there for you guys watching with whatever you're going through in your life. And maybe some perspective too. You know, we'll gain it from each other and try to help them too.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. Welcome on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. So to get started, I just want to ask you, plain and simple, can you share your story with us? You know, obviously something happened.
Yep. So I am a double leg amputee. I was in the Boston Marathon. I was a victim of the Boston Marathon bombings.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and my daughter and my husband were there.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you guys were all there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I worked in Boston. I was a hairstylist, and I worked on Newbury Street. And every year, like, I never liked crowds.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I was working and they'd be setting up, you know, for the marathon,
Mm-hmm.
I'd leave on a Saturday and be like, thank God I'm leaving.
Get out of the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then my sister, my younger sister, she's 4 years younger, Carmen, she decided to start running as a form of exercise. And originally she wanted me to run with her.
Okay.
But being a hairstylist, being on my feet all the time, I tried to run a couple of times, but I used to get the most horrible shin splints. Okay. So I was just like...
Hard to run with shin splints.
Yeah. And I can't do this. So I think I know that that's a little bit of a part of why we were standing directly at the finish line. Because in my head, I was so proud of my sister. I saw how hard she worked and everything.
Yeah.
And I just needed to see her cross the finish line. It's like I almost felt like I let her down, not doing this with her,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then that day, I didn't want to be anywhere else on the course. I just wanted to be at the finish line.
Just waiting for her.
And and I was just watching for her to cross.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the bombs went off just before she was turning onto like the finish area. So
right before she was gonna be there.
Right before she was still on one of the main roads, and before she turned onto, I think it's Hereford, one of the side roads to like come up to Boylston Street.
Yeah.
She was running with a friend, and she said that she heard the first bomb, and her and her friend were like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Like, then when the second one happened, again, you know, like they were just sort of, what's happening? There were military people running, so they were like, could it be like some kind of salute thing or something? I don't know.
Obviously not thinking a bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Why would you think that?
Of course, yeah.
And then she said that, you know, people had turned around and were starting to run back towards her, and people started yelling like there was a bomb at the finish line, and, you know, that it was over. And for me, we were just standing there watching, talking. We were with another couple, friends of ours, Ron and Karen, and their daughter, Christara. And thankfully, we sort of spread out a little bit.
Okay.
We were all standing next to each other. And then there's just so many people there. So it's like, a runner would come in and you'd hear a cheer go up, and then like a spot would open up because those people went to go see their
Loved
runner,
ones
Yeah. Excuse me. And sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
No, you're okay.
So when the bomb went off, my daughter was sort of to the left of us. The bomb was to the right of us. And I hear people say things like, if they get injured, they don't feel pain right away, or they feel pain. Mostly they don't feel pain right away.
Yeah.
But I never lost consciousness. I remember feeling like I flipped in the air, and then just both my eardrums got blown out. So it was very weird and surreal, like right away, because everything
senses are going crazy.
Yeah, because there was, I just remember like dust, particles, and trying to, actually a piece of something hit my cheek and split my tooth. I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that then, but I can remember sort of trying to breathe, like just trying to get some air in and spitting like I had gravel or something in my mouth.
Wow.
And the next thing I knew, like I was just laying there, and then my husband was like, his face was like right above me, so quickly. And he said, he immediately said that was just a bomb. And I remember being like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
But like, you're just so confused, like what just happened, and why can't I hear? And there were sirens going on and crying, and just the smell of everything.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
Yeah. You just smell all the blood around you and everything. So anyway, Kevin right away saw that, my husband is Kevin. He right away saw that my legs were pretty badly damaged. He said from the beginning, he knew that they weren't going to be saved.
They were still
attached.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And he took off his belt.
Tourniquet.
Tried to do a tourniquet on one leg, grabbed a belt from a bystander, tried to do the other leg too.
Thank you, Kevin.
And then, but then he said, I think a leather belt isn't a great tourniquet,
Yeah, that's what saved my life too.
So we know that for the future now. But he had said that with every beat of my heart, he could see the blood just sort of pumping out. So he literally just like laid across my thighs and was just putting
as much
like a ton of pressure. And that was when it just hurt so much.
Like all just kind of came as a wave to you right then?
It was hurting from the beginning.
Okay.
But when he was doing that, I remember thinking, when your thoughts come very quickly, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I can remember really quickly thinking, this is too bad. Like I can't take this. Like I want to die. Mm-hmm. And then it was almost like this roar in my head, like just about immediately. Mm-hmm. It was like my whole being did not like that thought, Mm-hmm. And I just remember thinking like, no, I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm not old, but I'm not done.
Yeah. This isn't it.
Yeah. So it was sort of like that thought of, I want to just give up and die. But right on the heels of that was just, there's no way. I have to, I'm such a mama bear. I have 2 kids. So my daughter, Sydney, was with us.
Mm-hmm.
She was 17 at the time. She was graduating from high school. That was a huge thing for me. Like, I needed to be there for my kids.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a mother's love. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Sydney got very hurt. Thankfully, she was, like I said at the beginning, she was a little to the left of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I truly believe that she was there, because if she was standing right next to us, I truly believe that she would not be here today. There's no way that Kevin could have done what he did for me and then done what Sydney needed. So Sydney had a piece of the pressure cooker, believe it or not, a piece of the bomb.
Wow.
It was like the size of a cell phone, go into her thigh and nick her femoral artery.
Oh, wow.
So
she's lucky to be alive too.
she really is.
Wow.
We were standing in front of this store, Marathon Sports, and one of the employees, this guy Zach, and his friend Joe, were in the store, heard the bomb, and came running out. And I believe the first person that they got to was Sydney.
Okay.
And Joe was a Marine, and he could tell by looking at her leg how severe the wound was. And he literally made Zach put his hands in Sydney's leg to like pinch off
Holy
the
cow.
artery. Yeah.
Thank you, Joe and Zach. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. So she had all one side, like the piece of the bomb went into her thigh. A hole was blown through her foot.
Wow.
So she was, I think, way closer to dying than, I was. And I just, that would be a whole other story. Like I can't even imagine losing a child.
Yeah.
So
That's a
I'm
scary
very,
thought.
very thankful that we all lived.
Absolutely.
And that she didn't lose a limb. She healed wonderfully. She had a
Good.
incredible vascular surgeon at Boston Medical Center,
Okay.
Dr. Farber, and he absolutely saved her life, and
Wow.
totally indebted to him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I got hair standing up all over my body right now. That's crazy, especially to have your husband and your daughter right there, and your other daughter just right down the road, not knowing what's going on.
Only one daughter.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought was running.
So no. So my sister was running.
Oh, it was your sister. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
My sister was running, and I have a son, Tyler, and he chose to stay home that day, which I'm very grateful that
Absolutely.
he did.
Seems like everything happened for a reason that day.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story.
It is. I'm trying to think if I left anything out. There's just so many things.
So much.
It
Yeah.
is. It's a lot.
Yeah. So you were laying there.
Yep.
Kevin was on your legs.
Yep.
And then ambulances came and took you, I'm assuming, back to a level 1 trauma center.
Yes. So we were so lucky that where the marathon was so close to all the Boston hospitals,
Which have great medical facilities around that area. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, we couldn't have been in a better spot.
Yeah.
To be able to get care so fast.
Yeah.
That came to us. They took, I think I was wheeled to the medical tent first. The medical tents were just past the finish line.
Okay.
And I remember them like cutting my clothes. I think they wrote something on my chest, like a number or something. I remember I actually have since met the nurse that took care of me in the medical tent.
That's cool.
She's a nurse near where I live, and she reached out to me and told me that, she had taken care of me in the medical tent. So
Wow.
we keep in touch, and
That's
it's,
cool.
yeah, it's neat to see that, like to see her and to be able to thank her.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. To still be here, to be able
Exactly.
to thank her.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
that's crazy. If you don't mind me asking, when it happened, I know your daughter had it through the femoral artery, but I mean, you have a femoral and a carotid artery going down to your feet. So when that happened to your legs, did any of those arteries get cut, damaged?
I don't know.
Okay. I was wondering if that's what caused the amputation, or is just too much damage of the
I
lower
think too
limbs?
much damage.
Okay. Blood flow not coming back up, things like that.
You know what? It was so no one discussed it with me.
Okay.
I just remember, just holding on, just trying to just breathe, And when I got into the ambulance, I remember thinking that it wasn't good because nobody was holding on to my legs anymore.
Okay.
And I could literally feel like the warmth coming out of me.
Wow.
And I remember being in the back of the ambulance, and the ambulance, one of the attendants was talking to me, and then he said, "There's somebody else in the ambulance too. I need to go. Are you gonna be okay? I'm just gonna, go take care of them." And I'm like, "Yep." And I just remember thinking, "Am I gonna make it?"
Yeah. I can't imagine all the thoughts going through your head as you're sitting there conscious.
And then as soon as we pulled, and then it was so quick that we got to the hospital. And as soon as we pulled up and they were bringing me in, they were asking me, "What's your name? Do you have any allergies?" and whatever. And before they put me under, I just remember thinking in my head, like I just had to hold on until I got to the hospital, and then they were gonna fix everything. You know? Like I knew I'd be knocked out or whatever, and they were gonna take care of it.
Yeah. Not thinking about the legs being amputated at that point at all. Yeah.
And my husband didn't say anything, his thoughts about how badly my legs were, but I can remember before we got in the ambulance, lying on the ground, and I said to my husband, I said, "Is my foot still attached to my leg?" And he said, "Yes." Because I think I tried to look down, and my foot was at one foot was at a weird angle.
Okay.
But when he said yes, it was like I couldn't even think about, I don't know, consequences or whatever. I mean, you just, in the moment, you're just in pain and you just want the pain to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
So back at the hospital, they were trying to ask me questions and stuff. And then a doctor came over, and I just remember how just sort of stoic he looked.
Yeah,
and
nonchalant.
He said, he had a clipboard, and he said, "I need you to sign this so we can amputate both your legs."
Yep, I've had that waiver.
And I just remember literally like catching my breath and looking at him like, "Did he just say that?"
Yeah.
And then, and I really looked at him and I went, "Both?" And he said, "Yes." And the way he said it, it was yes. Like, and I'm sure I just drew a line or something,
Yeah.
because I couldn't even comprehend that. It was just, whatever it was, just knock me out and do what you need to do.
Just trusting the doctors at that point.
So the marathon's on a Monday. So I got amputated Monday, and then Wednesday, and then Friday. And Friday they were able to close because it's a lot of, I don't even know how to say that, debriding.
Okay.
Taking like all the
muscles
gravel,
and
the
stuff.
junk out of everything, out of your limbs, letting it all.
Before folding everything over and stuff,
before closing
it
up.
Yeah.
So, so I think more was amputated each time, but like I had these heavy like casts on my legs. So all I knew was that I was really hot
Yeah. It just,
with this on.
yeah, I can't. Yeah. It's, sorry, it brings me, it
I was
it
just
brings me
gonna
back
say,
to mine as well, listening to your
yeah.
story.
Is that hard for you?
Well, it's never easy,
Sure.
right? You know how it is.
Yeah.
Obviously it's always going to make me emotional thinking about that stuff from your perspective and from my perspective, because I put myself in your shoes. Because I woke up from a coma on the way to a surgery room, and they, gave me a clipboard and said, "We got to take your leg. We need you to sign this now.
Oh
If we don't, we're going to have to take it later, and it's going to be higher up." And so they gave me a choice, but didn't really give me a choice. And
Right.
I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know why I was there. I
Oh.
didn't remember the accident. I just know that I woke up in a hospital and they told me they got to take my leg. And
Wow.
so just imagining from your perspective where, you're awake this whole time, you know what happened and what's going on, but you also don't know to the extent. And then
Right.
you get there and, hey, we got to take both, and that's, it's, my heart goes out to you, because I know that that's, no matter how strong of a front you put up, that's something that no one can prepare themselves for.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I think, if somebody would have told me before, like, this is going to happen to you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and you're going to have to deal with this, I probably would have been like, no,
Yeah.
just I'm done. Just
Yeah.
take me right now,
I agree. Yeah.
But then again, like, there was a saying that I love. It's something like, you don't know how strong you are until strong is all you can be.
Yeah.
Meaning, it's just either you decide that you're not gonna live anymore and whatever, just check out of life.
Yep.
Or, I wasn't ready to do that.
Sounds like you made that decision there when it happened.
And I've since felt that, everybody's got something, you don't have to get blown up or lose a limb.
Yeah.
Everybody's got something.
Absolutely.
That's challenging,
and it's the biggest thing in the world to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone has the strength within.
Yep.
And you need to find it.
Yeah.
It's
you gotta
scary.
choose it.
Yeah, it's scary. And trust me, I still have days where, I wake up in the morning or I don't sleep all night, and it's kind of a couch day or a bed day.
Yeah.
Maybe just watch TV and chill or something.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm fortunate that I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people that live with pain, they don't have a choice but to go to work every day and just, suffer through everything.
Yeah.
But I felt early on that, of course, my heart broke for the people that died that day.
Yes, ma'am.
And they didn't have a choice, like their lives were just taken away.
Yeah.
And I really felt like if I stayed angry or bitter or even just sad, like depressed, I mean, you can't, that's tricky because you can't just not be depressed.
Of course. Yeah.
But
choosing to step out of that depression.
Yeah. Well, trying to, like we honestly would like watch America's Funniest Home Videos or something like on our phones or our iPad or something, to just anything silly, animal videos.
Yeah.
To just be lighthearted and get you out of your head.
Yeah. What I like to say is trick the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like that is the best way to honor those people that passed, their memory.
Absolutely.
I was given, I don't know why I was, but I was given this sort of second chance
Yeah.
at life.
Absolutely were. Yeah.
And, you know, it would just be terrible to waste it.
Yep.
They didn't have a chance to go on and finish their dreams or, you know, fulfill things in their life that they wanted. And so it's very important to me to live, you know, with the intent that I'm going to try and pay it forward.
Yeah.
So many people came to visit us in the hospital, other amputees and stuff, and that got me through.
Yeah.
So, of course, I want to do that for other people whenever I can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the support side of things is huge. You know,
It is.
it's a lot of people that I've met over the years that haven't been able to make or have the strength, I guess, as you and I to, you know, rise above the challenges, or not even rise above the challenges, but just to mentally be able to continue on and do your thing, right?
Yeah.
And live life.
Yeah.
A lot of those people, it's because they didn't have the support.
Yes.
And so I think, you know, I hold true to that in a big way, where after my accident, you know, I had endless support. People coming, I was in the hospital for almost a year, and there was someone there almost every single day, if not multiple people for the whole time.
Wow.
And so it was just having those people there to make me want to be me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
To bring you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to give up, because
Yeah.
like you said, when you're laying there and made that decision and made that choice, like, this is no, like, no, it's not time.
Yeah.
It's not that time. You got to fight. You know, I think when you go through a life or death situation, you have to make that choice, right? And I think everyone that I've spoken to that's gone through that sort of, you know, life-altering moment where there is a life or death situation, it's, you know, finding that within yourself that it's not your time, or you have the fight inside of you to just keep going. And I think the body responds back to that too, you know, because to quote your husband about golf, you know, I just said it recently, you know, it's 99% mental, 1% physical in golf. Well, I think it's very similar in life. You know, it's up to you to choose what you're going to do with your situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's how you're going to come out of what you went through is all up here, you know? And so again, with that support too, is without that support, it's really hard to find that within yourself. And you had your daughters, which I think is, I'm sorry, your daughter, I just did it again, your daughter and your son, and your husband there. And I think that's amazing, because I think that's another step of in your brain, you know, you have someone or something to fight for. I have a daughter now. I didn't have a daughter at the time.
Wow. Yeah.
But I had friends and a girlfriend who's now my wife, and I wanted to fight for them. And, you know, everyone always thought that, you know, I was okay, right? Like I was handling it better than I should have because I had a smile on my face or this or that. And I was laughing and joking. Yeah. I had a feeling I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
That's like, what I was leading to.
She it hasn't really set in yet or something, you know, and I'd be like,
it does.
I'm like, no, I could see the smile or cry.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. You got one or the other. Right. And so it's a choice of which one you want to do.
Totally.
Which route do you want to take?
Totally. And there's some days where crying wins for me, you know, like I often tell people, like, I cry I've always been emotional, and I can cry at the drop of a hat. So, and it's probably because I am emotional that I feel this way. I don't see it as a weakness.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've learned to think similarly.
You know what? I think I don't want to be tested anymore, but I think I could handle anything. I might be crying through it, but I'm going to get through it.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a sense of resilience and strength that you get from what you go through, of course, that makes you feel like you can handle the world, right? While at the same time not understanding how you can handle your world, if that makes sense.
Yep. With me, I don't think I told you this, so 2.5 years before we got blown up, my daughter was hit by a car.
Oh.
at our my cousin's beach house. She was crossing the street. It was nighttime. A car didn't see her. My son and his friend had already crossed, and he actually had turned around to watch her. She was going to cross with the other friends that she was with, and they think that she doesn't remember, but they think that she was on her cell phone. And I think this car that was coming, it was nighttime, and I think they must have thought that my son and his friend were the only people that were crossing. And so my daughter just got hit. So it was right outside the beach house. I actually heard the hit. Like I heard her get hit. I heard them all screaming.
Wow.
I just hit the stairs, went running, my husband too. And when I got out there, she was in the middle of the road, face down, unconscious.
Oh my goodness.
And she ended up that she had a traumatic brain injury. We got airlifted to Boston. But as bad as that was, like that's the worst it got. When we got to Boston, they almost had to, open her head to relieve the pressure and stuff.
All the blood in there.
But thankfully they didn't have to. And one thing that I've learned about head injuries is that if things are going to go bad, they usually go bad fast. And every sort of like minute, hour that you're post injury with nothing else happening is a win. So my daughter had cognitive issues. So for 2 years, I watched her navigate this head injury. Her schooling, like she had to go to school like every other day so that she could do brain rest in between and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of my strength from watching her go through all of this.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And she finally, we would go to Children's Hospital and she'd get checked out, and there would still be, certain things that it didn't come back yet or something.
Yeah.
And then the last time that we were there, they were like, her doctor actually, he had tears in his eyes because he was like, I don't get to say this often, but he's like, you're healed.
Wow.
Like there's nothing more I can do for you.
Wow.
And she had that clean bill of health for 6 months, and then we got blown up. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, and the year that she had the car accident, she got hit by the car, that was June. October of that year, my son was a senior in high school and he was playing football. He got a traumatic brain injury, like a bad late hit, on the field.
Yeah.
Ambulance comes onto the field.
Holy cow.
We get called, like we were talking, of course, and we get called, have to go down. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? So I had 2 kids on different floors with checkups, at Children's Hospital in Boston.
Yeah.
So it was so hard for me to not be overprotective mom at that point.
Yeah.
So anytime, they'd be going out with friends or something, I'd be
I
like,
could only imagine.
And so we started this thing. I was like, after Tyler got his head injury, I was like, you know what? I think I said something like, I need to wrap you guys up in bubble wrap or something.
Helmets.
Yeah. I was like, I can't take anymore.
Yeah.
So that was our saying, like that they were in a bubble, like if they were going somewhere, I'd be like, bubble, like stay in the bubble, like,
yeah.
And after the bombing, I can remember just a few days after, there were so many people always in our room. I don't even remember who was in our room, but I remember being like, oh shit, our bubble got breached. Like, I was like, we need a new bubble. Oh
it
my
definitely
God.
got
Like I
breached.
was freaking out. But then I don't even remember who it was, but somebody was like, no, your bubble is intact. You guys are alive.
That's a very good perspective.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's the way it's going to be, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
So to this day,
What a year.
anybody's going to do anything, bubble.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm gonna
stay in the
literally
bubble.
put my daughter in a rolling bubble now after hearing these stories. Yeah, it's so much scarier when it's your kids, right? Not
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a whole different world of fear, I guess. I mean, it's just I can't even imagine. So,
But you can't let it
dictate the rest of your life, or
or impede their life.
yeah, yep.
You know?
Got to let them live still. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't live in fear.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a big one.
So
Yeah.
that was huge for me, even now, to still be like, trust, like, you can't worry about everything.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's like to trust, like, listen, whatever happens, I have no control over it. So I'm going to just not foreshadow maybe, bad things, but I'm going to try and live in the moment and not overthink stuff. Cause that's, I don't know. Do you have that? Like,
Yeah. Struggled with that for a little bit. Yeah. That actually does lead me to my next question, because I think there's probably some people watching that struggle with that when it comes to just basic little things of life, right? Even social anxiety, things like that. Once something happens, you don't want to go back and put yourself in that situation again, or you have fear of going back, even just high school stories, right? Just the simple little ones of getting made fun of if you're a kid that gets bullied or something like that. Then you're scared to go back into that situation. You got blown up. Did it make you scared to go back out in public to public things?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what helped you get past that? Or are you still struggling with that?
I still struggle with that a little. But I did, so like I think I said at the beginning that my sister never got to cross the finish line.
Yep. Yeah.
So while we were recovering, somehow she decided that she was going to run it the next year. And when she first said that, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. Not traumatizing at all.
Yeah. But it was like, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But at the same time, it wasn't going to get the best of me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
I couldn't let it have that power over me.
Yeah, I agree.
So actually, early on, when I had first gone back to work, there's this guy that I met, Robert Fogarty, and his charity is Dear World. It's called Dear World. And he would go, I hope I'm explaining it right. He would go into businesses like big corporations and stuff, and do these talks with the employees. And what he found was empowering was if they wrote on their limb, anywhere where they wanted to, if they just, what words would they, like what was resonating with them or something,
Okay.
So so I knew that he was going to be at the finish line photographing people. And my sister, everybody around me wanted me to go. I did end up going. But I thought at the beginning that we weren't. We were at the Boston Public Library, and I thought that we were staying in the library.
Okay.
And then when they were like, "Oh no, because it was wintertime," so they were like, "No, we're just here to warm up, and then we go to the finish line."
Yeah.
So at first, I was like, "Are you kidding? No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going back there."
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah.
But then they were doing it, and I wasn't alone. So it was like,
had that support.
Yeah.
Once again.
So I was like, if I'm ever going to do it,
This is the
I
time.
better do it now.
Yeah.
And And it was one of the best things that I could have done because that finish line should be, you know, a happy place for people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And the bombers took that away for a little while.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And I felt like that needed to be reclaimed. Like I couldn't just have this big thing over my head, like I never went back there or something like that.
Yeah, like again, they won almost in a way if you don't go back.
Yeah. So so that was very, very healing. I literally stood at the finish line, took off my prosthetic legs, sat on the ground, and one time we wrote on my legs, and then one time we wrote on my arms, but I wrote still standing.
Love that.
And that was a friend told me that because I was actually cutting his hair before I was gonna walk over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I gonna write? I don't know, you know, and I was like, I wanna try and do something that's, you know, like I'm still here, like I'm still, and he had come up with that. And I was like, oh my God, that is so perfect.
Yeah, that is.
And then it was such a good experience for me that I told, you know, my daughter about it. And then we came back the next day. They were still filming. I'm sorry.
I did the same thing.
They were still filming and still doing the pictures. And for Sydney, that was huge for her because she was much more frightened than I was about going back to the finish line. Like I had worked in the city, so I don't know. It was different. Very different, but for all of us to go through that, when she did her pictures, we took some together. Like she was sitting in front of me, and mine, I wrote still standing, and we wrote still beautiful on her leg.
Cool.
And we went, after everything wrapped, we went to dinner, all of us, and Robert, when we were walking back to the cars, you know, he said he was very, wanted to make sure that it was a positive experience for us, you know? And he said, like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
You know, and for me, what Sydney said was so great. Like she just kind of paused for a sec and she went, you know, I think I'll be able to sleep tonight.
Wow.
And just to hear that, I was like,
yeah, it gives me chills again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, especially as a mother.
So it was so, yeah, because you can't, nobody can fix that. It's something that you have to find within yourself.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Yeah, again, just the mental side of things again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was good and bad, you know, like going through it with her. I would have never wished that on her.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we supported each other.
To get through it together.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I've always been the type of guy that, like, whatever sport I jumped out and tried to play, I just had a natural knack to it. I got it from my dad, right? We just have...
My husband's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, in my opinion, it comes down to balance, right? If you have very good balance and hand-eye coordination, you can pick things up very fast. And so, you know, my dad and I always joke around, like, Arbuthnauts don't fall. We don't trip, right? You'll never catch us falling. Well, not true anymore. Not true anymore. But before the accident, when I still had two legs and feeling, it'd be hard to find me on the ground, right?
Oh my goodness.
And so, yeah, after that, to watch football or basketball, baseball, golf, these things that I excelled at, you know, for the majority of my life, it was just the ultimate depression because I'm watching these guys do things that I feel like I could go do.
It had to have gutted you.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm just sitting in this wheelchair paralyzed, like, what the heck am I going to do now for fun? What do I do?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And just watching that was the most depressing thing. And that's really what would get me in a bad place. Or just watching, I mean, for me, I'm gonna try not to get emotional saying this. I'm bad about getting emotional sometimes when I talk about myself, but
it's fine.
Okay. It's watching your friends and your loved ones go out and do the things that are very simple and basic day-to-day life things that you can't do.
Yeah.
And so spending 7 years in a wheelchair, unable to walk unless it's very short distances, I mean, that was hard. That was really hard.
Imagine,
so to go from being the guy that's taller than the majority of people everywhere I go, that kind of stands out because I'm taller, right? I've always got a big smile on my face talking to everyone that I see, even if I don't know you. Well, now I stand out because I'm a young gentleman in a wheelchair rolling around without a leg on.
Right.
And, you know, my wife helping me. It's why I refused to get help for 9 years now. I hate it. If my daughter touches my wheelchair when I'm in it, tries to push me, I hate to say it, but I get very frustrated.
Really?
Absolutely. If anyone tries to help me with anything, I get very, very frustrated because in my head, I don't need help.
Yeah.
I don't want your sympathy. You know, like you said earlier, I'm still me.
Yeah.
And nothing changed, which I will give my dad so much props for. When I was in the hospital, I think it was before I woke up from my coma. I was potentially after I woke up from my coma, but before I woke up from the medically induced coma that they put me in afterwards. Wow. All my friends were around because, shout out to my friends in Washington, I had 30, 40 people show up and stay there for like 24 hours. And then all of my group of friends,
Wow.
you know, 12, 15 people, they're constantly in and out. And one thing my dad told them, which I found out later, was you do not treat him differently. Do not give him a break, give him crap, give him the same thing that you gave him before because he's still Tanner.
I love your dad. That's awesome.
He's been my dad, my mom, my sisters.
Yeah.
I mean, dad coming.
Yeah.
Here comes the emotions. But
it's family.
My wife, by the way, Mira, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, yeah, I get so emotional. My sister, my brother, my husband, my kids.
It's the people around you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, like you want to make them feel better about your situation.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, that's why I always like to crack jokes or try to act like everything's okay no matter what I'm going through. It's because it's not for me as much as I thought it was for other people, which ended up being the best thing that I could have done for myself, you know, when you look back.
It helps you in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. But without that support, where does that go? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, my now wife, girlfriend at the time was 20 years old. I was 22 when the accident happened, and she drove up an hour and a half from school and work every single day to sleep in a chair in a hospital room right next to me.
Wow.
And she did that for like 5-6 months while I was in the major part of everything until I finally convinced her, I think, or she finally decided to start sleeping at home. And it's just without that through the hardest times, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah,
so,
like where would
I don't know where I would be.
Yeah.
I think I'd still be in a bed.
And that's what drives me to do stuff like this, to say yes to stuff like this. It's hard to put yourself out there.
It is. Yeah. Talk about your insecurities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so important, I think, to show our vulnerability, because some people, I only hear some people saying like, "Oh, you're so strong," and the strength or whatever, and I'm like, no, I'm not strong.
I feel the same way.
I'm just doing what anybody would do that isn't done with living. I'm just trying to find the best spot for me to be in. I still, you know, like your loved ones, both my parents have passed, but my siblings, my husband, my kids.
Yeah, you live for them.
They're there for me every day. And like, there's so many times that I'll cry and apologize to my husband because I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm upset today, you know, or something, and he'll just be like, what? But I'll say to him, like, I know it's got to be stressful for him.
Yeah.
Yet he never says anything.
Yeah. That's a good husband.
It is.
Yeah.
So, and he's always there.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm short-tempered because I'm in pain,
Happens.
and I'll catch myself,
Yeah.
hopefully most of the time, and I'll say, I'm so sorry, I was just such a bitch, I'm just in pain, you know.
Yeah.
Can I say bitch? I just did.
You can
but
say whatever you
I'm
want.
sorry.
But we'll cut out what we need to. That's why
Well,
we got Chris.
I'm from Boston,
Thank you,
so-
by the way, Chris.
I'm from Boston, so I'm surprised no
I
F-bombs
was
have
gonna
gotten
say, I'm
thrown in.
surprised you've only gotten a couple so far.
No, I haven't.
It's okay.
I haven't. It's
I don't
been
have
clean.
the best language either, typically. So
No, sometimes.
Lord.
To me, it's like that's a form of therapy. Sometimes,
it's sometimes getting it out. Yeah.
Sometimes the F word is just the only.
You ever seen the movie The Family
Yeah.
with Robert De Niro, and the kids say that the F word, he says it for everything, like
I don't think I saw
F,
that.
it's so good, or F, it's so bad, or F this or F
Yeah,
that. It can
insert
be
it
used for
anywhere.
everything. Yeah, it can literally be used for anything. Yep.
And sometimes it's therapy to just
Let it out.
You know.
Yeah. Yep.
But you got to let it out.
Yeah.
Right. You got
to have an outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whether it's
whatever that is.
Yeah, laughing, your
Crying.
golf. I'm so glad that you have golf.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that one. I'm currently, for anyone who wants to hate on the cripple out here, by the way, I'm at 8.5 handicap on USGA. Look me up. It's going to about to be a scratch golfer pretty soon here now that I got the new clubs. So just saying.
That is
It doesn't
phenomenal.
matter what your body can do. Just get out there and do something. You got to have your outlet. You got to be able to put it out to something and get that. There's no chance that you can live your life just positive 24/7, right?
Right.
That's one thing that I want to make sure that, everyone likes to think that I'm always this happy-go-lucky guy, right?
Same,
Ask
yeah.
my wife.
And it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Ask
There's
my husband.
days. Yeah. I mean, maybe not for me, maybe not days. But there's times, there's moments, right, that are very tough. And it's honestly, in my opinion, because I wanted to say earlier when you're saying that you are strong, that's BS to say that you're not strong, because there's people in way lesser position than you right now that gave up, right? There's people in way lesser positions that got double amputations or one amputation because of diabetes, because they weren't taking care of their body. And then after they get the amputation, they still choose to give up and not get up and use that leg. Still choose not to make their life better, and they live short lives after that most of the time. You chose to get up and do your thing.
I feel like it's their loss.
It is. And so you are strong for sure. And something that I like to remind myself these days, because I didn't think it for a long time either, is that I'm strong too. Right. And it's important to know that you have that strength, because not everyone can do what you did. Not everyone can do what I did. And so holding on to that's important. But you got to have your bad times. You can't hold everything in at all times.
Right.
Even if you haven't gone through, anything but normal life things, breakups, whatever the case may be, just normal life things,
Illnesses.
you can't hold it in. Yeah. You got to have your outlet.
You do.
And so when you hold it in, that's how psychopaths are made. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta let it out. Absolutely.
Yeah. No one can just hold it in, and no one can be positive all the time.
Right.
I like to give the perception that I'm positive all the time, or put the good things out, not the negative things out, but there's still the negative, right? And it's what makes you strong, in my opinion, is when you go through those bad times and then you still choose to pull yourself out of it, right? Instead of just having a bad moment or a bad day, it could easily become a bad week or a bad month or a bad year. Let that carry on, because once you get in a negative mindset, the only thing that does is affects you negatively for your future. Right. But when you pull yourself out, right, even if you have those moments of anger or whatever you're going through, right, you can't make it through at that moment. As long as you pull yourself out, that's where true strength comes from, in my opinion. So no matter what people are going through, whether it's severe like yours, it's pulling. It's pulling yourself out, right? It's okay to have the bad moments, but don't sit there and
don't stay
dwell in it. Yeah, exactly.
There's a woman that I met here actually years ago, Renee, that she said the best thing. She said, honey, you can have a pity party anytime. Just don't pitch a tent. It was like, you know what? So to me, that was, if sometimes, like, I'll just say to my husband or my kids, anybody, you know, they'll just be like, what's wrong? And I'll just be like, it's an amputee day. It's just one of those days. It's just, so it doesn't have to be amputee day. It's just, you know, it's just a sucky day, and just chalk it up like, okay, tomorrow's going to be better. Or even if it is a week or whatever, you know, it's a slippery slope, but you've got to, it's hard figuring out when to sort of give yourself grace to be able to feel those feelings and just, today sucks.
Yeah. It's going to happen, right? Again, life's not easy.
Right. But to keep in your head, like, I try and do that. Like, because I certainly have bad days, you know, when I have a bad day, to just be like, okay, it's just today, or, you know, just the next few days or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you've got to do something to sort of help that along, you know, nothing, you never realize how alone you really are until you go through something like this too, because it's all you.
Yeah.
Nobody else can do it.
No one can make that choice for you.
No.
Yep.
People can pray, hope, have such, you know, give you talks, whatever.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's you in your head, and you deciding, like, it's not going to get me today.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Whatever I use faith. Other people use other things, right? Family.
Yep.
It's whatever you can find, but you have to find something, right?
You do.
Because if you don't and you start dwelling in that, then it becomes very lonely because you never pull yourself out.
Yep.
And there's so many people that get down that path. And so
that's
tough.
And that's why I thank you for asking me to come here to do this, because
thank you for doing
I think that if my heart breaks to think that there's people out there that don't have the support, and are just at their wits' end and just, you know, don't have any hope or something. I hope that they find it, you know, within themselves, and learn how to, like, first you have to find it within yourself, and then you have to find the little areas that is going to sort of like feed your soul. Yeah. You know?
Yep. Like whatever that is for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a very private, personal thing.
Yep.
But I think it's true for everybody, and it's you have to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I believe that everybody has it within them to figure that out.
You just have to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you need to lean on people for a while, lean on them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I had for today. I think we've talked for a little bit. I appreciate, I just appreciate you opening up and talking with us and sharing your story and inspiration and positivity and everything. And is there anything that's coming up next for you?
Something that I've got going on?
Yeah.
No.
Or is it just living life?
Just
and enjoying life?
Just living life. I found a new passion. I was always a hairstylist.
Yes, ma'am.
And then
I need some help with that.
After I did go back to work doing hair.
Okay.
But then it was too painful. So I did it for a very limited time. And then it was like I was trying to find my next thing. Mm-hmm. And about a year ago, I've always loved jewelry.
Okay.
You haven't seen it, but my prosthetic leg.
I haven't seen them yet.
I have the pylon, the one with the pylon.
Yep.
I have like bracelets wrapped all around it.
Oh, okay. Fancy.
So I just started to do. I started taking metalsmithing classes.
Oh.
So I'm starting to make jewelry.
Wow.
And that's the first thing. I'm so grateful for that, because that's the first thing since hair that I've been excited about.
That's awesome.
And
found some passion
fulfill
in it.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
within me.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Miss Celeste, I mean, I wish you nothing but the best in the future.
Thank you.
You and your entire family and everything that y'all have been through. And yeah, thank you again for sharing everything in your story. And thank you guys for watching and supporting. And we have a lot more coming up. We have a lot more stories, a lot more gabbing and talking nonstop because
I can't wait to see it.
yeah, it's gonna be
great.
fun. It's a lot of stories that we have to share here, and it's endless the amount of people like ourselves out there that just keep pushing every day, and everyone's got a different journey about how we got here. And so thank you for coming on and being one of the first to share that journey.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for surviving and deciding to choose life for your family and for yourself.
Same.
Yeah. It was
Same.
an absolute pleasure talking with you today.
Same.
Yeah. God bless you. It was very nice talking with you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. We'll see you guys for the next one.